Hello everybody, this is Marjorie. What a day I had yesterday. Oh my God. Well, I'm sitting minding my own business. You know, I'm sitting with my feet up and I'm having a wee biscuit. I was having a wee bourbon. A wee bourbon biscuit, right? And a cup of tea. And then march my next door neighbours, Connie and Neville, just marched in. Nae bell, nae knock, nothing. Just walked right in. And I says, oh, hello there. Please come in. Do sit down. Would you like a refreshment? She says, well, Connie says, oh, that'd be lovely. What you having? I says, I'm having a bourbon. Connie says, I don't like a bourbon, I like a custard cream. I says, I've not got any custard cream, I've got bourbon or jammy Dodgers. Neville says, I love a wee jammy Dodger. I says, well, you can have a jammy Dodger. I've actually got some jammy Dodgers. And Connie's like, oh, but I like a custard cream. I says, well, have you got any custard creams? If you've got custard creams in your house, why don't you go and check your biscuit barrel? And if you've got the custard creams, you bring the custard creams in and have. Because I've only got the bourbons, the jammy Dodgers, the wagon wheels, the Kit Kats, or I think I've got a couple of Twixies, maybe a Mars bar and a Snickers and a packet of Hula Hoops. She says, no, I'll just have a bourbon then. So, well, she starts talking about her holidays, right, Neville and Connie. Oh, not only are they the nosiest folk I've ever met in my whole puff, they brag about everything. It's like, oh, when we were here and we were there and we were everywhere and we were on a cruise and we were on a flight and we were in a 5-star hotel and we've been in the biggest hotel in Dubai and we've been in the most expensive hotel in New York and we've been to Australia and we've wigwammed, what do you call that when you're on a wire? The wigwam wire. And you go from one building to the other. I says, oh, that's very adventurous. I mean, they went on and on about all the cruises they've been on and this and that, and they've been to the Ganapican Islands. Is it the Ganapican? No, I can't mind. I says, I've been to Giffnock. That was lovely. Had a lovely wee time. Anyway, they had a nice wee gift shop, a nice wee like antique gift shop and house shop. Anyway. But they all but gave me a slideshow. I mean, and boring. Oh my God. I mean, they take pictures of everything. There's like, this is a tree. This is a tree that we took in Sydney. I went, oh. And this is a water hydrant that we took when we were in LA. And I went, oh. So they're going on. And then they were talking about their cruise. Now, they were on this big cruise ship. And they're like, 150 stories high, this big cruise ship. I went, no for me. I wouldn't feel safe. I would think I was on the Titanic. I would think I was going to slip. Why was I going to slip? Sink. I meant sink. I was going to slip. I don't know where I was going to slip to. Anyway, but maybe slip on the deck. You know, when you're walking along the deck and maybe somebody's went along before you and wet themselves because they were that excited they were going for their all-you-can-eat buffet. And that was another thing. She says, oh yes, it's 24 hours a day. Some of these restaurants, they never close. And you just eat all you can. I says, eat all you can? Oh my God. Because, I mean, people say, don't they, they come back for cruises 12 stone heavier than they were when they went. And I says, fat boy, 2 doors down, he'd love a cruise. Oh my God, he'd love a cruise. But can you imagine everybody else? All the other passengers would come back like skeletons because, well, he'd have been at the all-you-can-eat buffet all night. He'd go down there 3 o'clock in the morning when some folk are in their bed with one of the tartan trolleys, you know, filling it up. Because he's dead greedy guts. And I says, everybody on his side of on the ship, the double like that because he. So anyway, that was that. And all the time they'd been on the Orient Express and they'd been on this and they'd been on that. I says, I went on the Eurotunnel. Not quite the same as the Orient Express, mind you, but you know, I was like, well, that's pure dead brilliant. Oh, we've got another slideshow of the Orient Express. I went, oh, here we go. Now, but I like Agatha Christie, so I mean, I was fascinated by the decor of the Orient Express. Oh, I was looking at that. And I says to myself, I will really need to keep my door locked. I'll need to keep my door locked because I don't mind. I mean, I'm a people person, as you know, and I get out there and I say, hello, how do you do? My name's Marjorie. But I can't be dealing with all these folk that just walk in. I say, excuse me, this is my house. You ring the bell, or turn up the door before you just walk in. Or at least shout, QE, are you in? And I could shout back, no, get yourself to Falkirk, you know? So, and then I started telling them all my stories about my holidays. They weren't impressed. I says, I like to go to the seaside. That's funny. I mean, I'm as happy as a goat playing a mouth organ. And, you know, the smell of the seaweed, and I get a wee beach hut. And they do the hot donuts. Oh, they do the baggy 4 donuts. They're just newly fried. Oh, and the smell and the sugar. Oh, the hot sugar on the donut. I'm actually making myself quite hungry. You know, when you walked in the pomegranate, you know, down the seafront and got the hot donuts. Oh, that was lovely. But I've stayed in some absolute crackers. They're talking about all their fancy hotels. I says, listen, I've been in some right pokey wee rooms. There was this room, there was this hotel, right? I went in my room in Brighton, put the key into the lock, I broke the window. The room was that wee. I says, honest to God. And I once came... Oh, this is quite embarrassing. I came up in the London to Glasgow sleeper train, right, years ago, and I was sharing with this woman. I mean, and my pal Senga says to me, "Will you no fear, Marjorie? Will you no fear sharing with a complete stranger?" I went, "No, I just talk about anybody, you know." So we're in the sleeper, right? Well, I let out this absolute ripper of a fart, and I went, "Oh, in the name of God, I think I blew a hole in my blanket." And I turned to this woman and I says, "Excuse me, hen, has a fart got lumps?" And she says, "No." I says, "Oh well, in that case I've bombed my breeks." I says, "You've heard of potpourri? Well, this is poopery." It was dead smelly.